Michael Jackson, the king of pop, the moonwalking legend, and one of the most iconic figures in music history. His songs are timeless, his dance moves are legendary, and his eccentricities, well, they're something else entirely. Behind the dazzling glove and the hits lies a complex and often confusing persona that's given us plenty to laugh, cry, and scratch our heads about. So let's moonwalk right into everything hilariously strange about Michael Jackson. Sorry to interrupt, but subscribing won't heal the world, but it might make it a better place. The Neverland Ranch. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was his personal playground, literally. With a zoo, amusement park rides, and even a train, it was like Disneyland, but somehow weirder. The idea of a grown man turning his home into a child's fantasyland was equal parts fascinating and baffling. Sure, he wanted to recapture his lost childhood, but it's hard not to raise an eyebrow when you're invited to pet llamas after riding a carousel in the backyard of a multi-million-dollar mansion. Michael's version of adulting was basically Peter Pan on steroids. The infamous moonwalk. The moonwalk. The move that launched 1,000 wannabe dancers and twisted 1,000,000 ankles. When Michael debuted it during the Motown 25 show, the world lost its collective mind. But let's be honest, the moonwalk is a lot harder than it looks. Most people trying to emulate it end up looking more like they're slipping on ice rather than gliding on stage. And while it was cool the first few hundred times, Michael pretty much moonwalked through every public appearance after that. It became less of a showstopper and more of a, yep, here comes the moonwalk moment. The glove? Just one? One of Michael Jackson's most iconic accessories was his sequined glove, but only one glove. Why? Was he worried about the other hand getting jealous of the sparkle? The single glove became a symbol, but also a head-scratcher. Was it a statement on fashion, asymmetry, or just an elaborate way to keep people talking? Whatever the reason, it worked. People still argue about the significance of that glove, even though deep down, we all know it was probably just Michael being Michael. His relationship with Bubbles the Chimp. Michael Jackson's best friend wasn't another pop star or a music producer. It was Bubbles, his pet chimpanzee. Bubbles went everywhere with Michael, from studio sessions to dinner parties. Imagine showing up at a fancy restaurant and realizing you're seated next to Michael Jackson and a chimp dressed in a tuxedo. As adorable as Bubbles was, the relationship raised some eyebrows. It's one thing to love animals, but it's another to bring them along as your plus one. Bubbles eventually retired to an animal sanctuary, probably to escape the madness of pop stardom. The Everchanging Face. Michael Jackson's face was a work in progress, one that never quite reached completion. Over the years, his appearance changed dramatically, with his nose seemingly shrinking with each album release. Michael always insisted it was just a couple of surgeries, but it's pretty clear that his definition of a couple was a bit flexible. His transformation was both mesmerizing and concerning. Fans watched as he slowly morphed into a version of himself that was almost unrecognizable. And it's hard not to wonder if he was trying to moonwalk away from his own reflection. Shamone. Who is that? Michael Jackson's signature vocal ad-libs are iconic. The Hee-hee, the Shamone, and the occasional ow. These were the cherries on top of his songs, but also kind of bizarre when you think about it. No one really knows what Shamone means, but that didn't stop millions of people from trying to imitate it. It's like Michael had his own language, and we all just went along with it. Let's be real. Would Billie Jean even be the same without a random hee-hee thrown in? Probably not. The oxygen chamber myth. Remember when rumors spread that Michael Jackson slept in an oxygen chamber to stay youthful? While Michael denied actually sleeping in one, he did admit to using one briefly, and the photo of him in the chamber became legendary. It was like he was trying to become a sci-fi character. Whether it was a publicity stunt or genuine interest, it definitely added to the wacko jacko persona. Sleeping in an oxygen chamber? Why not? Anything for the king of pop to stay young forever, even if it meant looking like a Marvel villain. The Baby Dangling Incident. Perhaps one of Michael's most infamous moments was the time he dangled his infant son, Blanket, over the balcony of a hotel in Berlin. The world collectively gasped, and the memes were instant. Michael claimed he got caught up in the moment, wanting to share his child with his fans. But come on. A blanket over a balcony isn't exactly the best way to show off your new baby. It was like a bizarre combination of The Lion King and a safety PSA for what not to do with your child. Never quite sure what color he was. Michael Jackson's changing skin tone was another point of fascination and controversy. He went from a dark-skinned kid in the Jackson 5 to a very pale man by the end of his life. Michael explained that he had vitiligo, a skin condition that causes patches of skin to lose pigment. Whether you buy it or not, it's hard to ignore the drastic change. It was as if Michael was trying to transform himself into a blank canvas, ready for whatever new persona he wanted to be next. The king of pop was more like the chameleon of pop. The Bad Music Video Gang. In the music video for Bad, Michael and his crew of dancers try to look as intimidating as possible. But let's be honest, Michael Jackson was about as intimidating as a teddy bear in leather. The whole gang thing might have worked for West Side Story, but Michael's soft voice and graceful dance moves made the tough guy persona a little hard to believe. Still, it's one of his most iconic videos, if only for the sheer audacity of Michael trying to convince us he's a street tough rebel. The outfits, military jackets, and pajama pants. Michael Jackson's wardrobe was, let's say, eclectic. From the iconic red leather jacket in Thriller to the endless array of military-style jackets, he always made a statement. But perhaps the weirdest fashion choice was his penchant for wearing pajama pants in public. One minute he'd be decked out in a sparkling suit, and the next, he'd be showing up to court in pajamas. It's like he couldn't decide between being the king of pop or the king of nap. And honestly, that's the kind of mood we can all relate to. The hyperbaric chamber for bubbles. Yes, it wasn't enough for Michael to just have a hyperbaric chamber for himself. He supposedly had one for Bubbles too. Because why shouldn't a chimpanzee have a taste of the high life? The image of Bubbles lounging in his own oxygen chamber is both hilarious and quintessentially Michael Jackson. It's like he decided that if he was going to go full eccentric, he might as well bring his chimp along for the ride. Living in the mirror. Michael Jackson's obsession with mirrors is well documented. He even wrote a song about it, Man in the Mirror. But it wasn't just a metaphor. He reportedly spent hours practicing in front of mirrors, perfecting every move and facial expression. While it's part of what made him the amazing performer he was, it's also a bit funny to think of Michael moonwalking alone in front of a mirror giving himself pep talks. Most of us use mirrors to check for spinach in our teeth. Michael used them to become a legend. The Earth Song and its over-the-top message. Earth Song is one of Michael's most passionate performances, and also one of the most melodramatic. The music video features Michael wandering through scenes of environmental devastation, singing his heart out while nature collapses around him. Don't get me wrong, the message is great, but the execution is peak Michael Jackson drama. It's like he decided to single-handedly save the planet with nothing but his voice and a wind machine. And then there's that epic "What about us?" line, which has become the ultimate dramatic outcry for any mildly inconvenient situation. The Thriller zombie dance. Thriller is legendary, no one is arguing that. But let's take a moment to appreciate just how bizarre it is that Michael Jackson decided to turn into a werewolf, then lead an army of zombies in a choreographed dance routine. It's like a fever dream of horror movie tropes combined with an 80s pop twist. And let's not even get started on the red leather jacket, iconic but also very lost biker gang leader. Yet somehow, Michael made it work, proving that if you're Michael Jackson, you can pretty much do anything and make it legendary. The Smooth Criminal Lean. The anti-gravity lean in Smooth Criminal defies all logic and physics, mostly because it's not really possible for normal humans. Michael pulled it off with a special pair of shoes and a whole lot of practice, but that didn't stop people from attempting it and face-planting in the process. The move is one of the coolest moments in music video history, but it's also a great example of Michael's flair for the impossible. Who else would think, you know what this dance needs? A death-defying lean that makes everyone question reality. The never-ending farewell tour. Michael Jackson's career was filled with farewell tours that weren't really farewells. He seemed to have a habit of announcing a final tour, only to come back again a few years later. It's like he couldn't make up his mind whether to stay or go. The This Is It tour was supposed to be his grand finale, but even that got cut short due to his untimely death. Michael was the master of suspense. He kept his fans guessing whether each performance would be the last. The infamous Pepsi Commercial. In 1984, Michael Jackson's hair caught fire while filming a Pepsi commercial, thanks to a pyrotechnic mishap. The footage became legendary, because of course, if something dramatic was going to happen during a commercial shoot, it was going to happen to Michael Jackson. The incident led to years of speculation about whether it influenced his later struggles with painkillers. But beyond the drama, it's just another example of how Michael's life was anything but ordinary. Even filming a soda ad turned into a defining moment. The whispered secret marriage to Lisa Marie Presley. Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley's marriage was one of the biggest celebrity surprises of the 90s. It was a match that no one saw coming. The King of Pop and the daughter of the King of Rock and Roll. Their marriage announcement seemed to come out of nowhere, and their infamous onstage kiss at the MTV VMAs felt like it was more for the cameras than anything else. The whole relationship felt like a PR stunt, and when they divorced less than 2 years later, the world shrugged and moved on, as if we all kind of expected it. The mystery behind the high-pitched voice. Michael Jackson's voice was as unique as his dance moves. High-pitched, soft, almost otherworldly. But the origin of that voice is still a mystery. Some say it was a result of his father's insistence that he maintain a childlike vocal range. Others think he just preferred it that way. Whatever the reason, it gave us classics like Billie Jean and Thriller. But it also left us wondering if Michael's voice was a choice, an accident, or something in between. The mask obsession. Michael had a habit of wearing surgical masks in public long before it was a global necessity. He was often seen donning these masks during public appearances, sparking speculation about his health, his skin condition, or just another layer of his eccentricity. It was like he was trying to keep himself safe from the world. Or maybe it was the world he was keeping safe from him. Either way, the mask became as much a part of his mystique as his sequined glove, his collection of weird pets. Bubbles wasn't the only unusual pet Michael kept. He also had llamas, a boa constrictor named Muscles, and even a couple of exotic birds. It's like he was assembling his own version of Noah's Ark, only instead of saving animals from a flood, he was just trying to keep himself entertained. Having a zoo in your backyard might sound like a child's dream, but for Michael, it was just Tuesday. Imagine waking up to a llama staring at you while you have breakfast, only in Michael Jackson's world. The statues of himself. Michael Jackson wasn't exactly known for his humility. Case in point, the giant statues of himself that he commissioned during his career. These towering monuments were meant to promote his album History, but also came off as hilariously self-indulgent. I mean, what says modesty more than a 30-foot statue of yourself in a heroic pose? It's like Michael thought, if I'm going to be a legend, I might as well look the part. In bronze. The anti-gravity boots. Michael's anti-gravity lean from smooth criminal wasn't just talent, it was technology. He even patented the special boots that helped him pull off the impossible move on stage. While it's a testament to his commitment to wowing audiences, it also makes you wonder if there was anything he wouldn't do to defy gravity. Moonwalking, anti-gravity leaning. Michael was determined to make sure we were never quite sure if he was subject to the same physical laws as the rest of us. And there you have it, Michael Jackson, iconic, mesmerizing, and undeniably unique. He was a man of incredible talent, but also of epic eccentricities. Whether he was moonwalking across a stage, wearing a single sequined glove, or having dinner with a chimpanzee, Michael Jackson lived life in a way that was truly his own. His legacy is a mix of jaw-dropping talent, undeniable weirdness, and unforgettable moments that continue to make him the king of pop. For better or for worse, what do you think about Michael Jackson? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next video.